The burned hand froze in the doorway, fingers twitching like they were struggling to remember how to move. The smell of smoke filled the apartment, old smoke, the kind that clings to memories, not air. I couldn't move. The child stood beside the door, staring at the hand with wide, empty eyes. "He's finally here," the boy whispered. "I told you, you opened the wrong door." My heart hammered. What does he want from me? The child's voice trembled. "Someone has to take our place." Before I could react, the burned hand pushed the bedroom door open wider. A tall figure stepped out, skin cracked like charcoal, eyes glowing with a faint orange ember. He looked melted, but alive. Or not alive. Something in between. He raised his head slowly, like he hadn't used his neck in years. When he finally looked at me, the temperature in the apartment dropped so fast I could see my breath. "You heard him knock," the child whispered. "But you didn't answer." The tall burned man took a step closer. The floor groaned under his weight. I stumbled backward. "I wasn't here. I didn't live here then." The child shook his head. "It doesn't matter. Someone always has to open the door. Someone always has to let him out." The burned man lifted his arm and pointed at me, slow, heavy, like a judge choosing a name. That's when the apartment door behind me locked itself with a loud click. I was trapped. I bolted toward the balcony, but the moment my hand touched the glass, the lights exploded again. Everything went dark except for the faint, burning glow in the man's eyes. He stepped closer, and closer. In the dim light, I saw something I hadn't noticed before. The muddy footprints circling me were no longer just footprints. They were forming a shape. A circle, a seal, a boundary, a ritual. The boy stood outside the circle, but the burned man was stepping into it. The boy whispered, terrified, "He chose you. You're the door now." I shook my head violently. No, I don't belong here." The burned man stretched his arms toward me. The air thickened, pressing against my lungs. I felt heat building around me, not real heat, but the memory of heat. The fire he died in. The boy backed away. He needs someone alive to carry what he couldn't finish. What did he want? I screamed. The boy lowered his head. To escape the fire. To live again. The burned man stepped fully into the circle. The floor cracked under him like burnt wood. Suddenly, flames erupted around the circle, not real flames, but ash-colored shadows shaped like fire, flickering in silence. I screamed as the man reached for me. Then everything stopped. The flames froze. The shadows paused. Even the air went still. The child stepped into the circle. The burned man let out a low, angry growl. The boy whispered, "I won't let him take you. Not again. Not someone else." The burned man reached for him. But the boy pushed me backward, out of the circle. "Run," the boy shouted. The moment I crossed the boundary, the lights shattered. The burned man roared, and the child's silhouette blurred in the flames. I crawled toward the door. The lock clicked. It opened. I stumbled into the hallway and slammed the door behind me. I could still hear the boy screaming, "Go. Don't look back." I ran down the stairs, out of the building, into the freezing night air. I didn't stop running until I reached the street. When I finally turned around, the windows of my apartment were glowing faintly orange, then blue, then went completely dark. No sound, no movement, nothing. The fire department arrived minutes later. They said there was no fire, no smoke, no sign of anything unusual. My apartment was empty, except for one thing. On the floor where the circle had been, there was a fresh set of muddy footprints. Tiny ones, leading to the door, and a message written in ash, "Thank you for opening the right door." I left the building that night and never returned. But sometimes, at exactly 3:14 a.m., my new apartment makes a sound. A soft knock. 3 slow taps. Always the same rhythm. Always the same time. I don't open it. I never will. But one night, I swear I heard a small voice whisper through the door, "Don't forget me." Thank you for watching, my dear. Please like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next frightful chapter.